Much as this curriculum, it has just been introduced and it's in its stages of implementation. Everyone by now has prior knowledge or expertise knowledge about it. So today we are going to look at lesson delivery, the formative assessment, assessment for learning, assessment as learning, assessment of learning, the summative assessment or end of year assessment, then the end of cycle. We look at how can a teacher or a facilitator of the revised curriculum undergo or carry out them. So I would love to hear from you today. Let us start with the lesson delivery. How do you deliver lessons? Do you teach like the lower secondary or you are teaching upper secondary? Mr. Isaac, Mr. Job, Mr. Pierre. Yes, Derek, you're most welcome, Mr. Derek. So members, let us begin. Time is limited. Tomorrow is Monday. We have to get back to work. Eh? Let us pass in details. Like I was asking, the place, noisy place. Someone was asking what is the CBC in a group of new curriculum teachers. Eh? According to the news, yes, they revised the curriculum. Yes, please. Yes, please. 2 years left. Yes, please. Yes, please. You can go on. Behimbitsa. Behimbitsa. Your video is on, yes, sir. Has left. Your network connection is back. Yes, teachers, let us share ideas. Eh? Let us share ideas. Okay, yes, there is a most welcome. For example, like me when I go to class, yes, please. Yes, please. Sekamate Joseph, most welcome. Thank you, Sebugwawo, most welcome. So today we are looking at lesson delivery. How do you deliver lessons in the CBC? CBC, it means competence-based curriculum. What can a learner do? Okay, it's a curriculum that emphasizes what learners are expected to do rather than acquiring only knowledge. Right together. So according to me, because I facilitate these learners, as in regards of them acquiring the learning outcomes or the laws, okay? For me, if I go to class, for example, I teach senior 2 and senior 3s, okay? When I go like to senior 2s, NS stream, okay? Or west or east, NS stream. I go, I first make my lesson plan from the scheme of work, right, together. Then if I make my lesson plan from the scheme of work, then in my lesson plan, I include in the name of the school, name of the teacher, class, term, number of learners, not students, number of learners. Then there is this interesting part, the theme, okay? The theme, it's the broad coverage of, okay, it's a combination of different topics, okay? The theme, then you have the topic, the competency, and every topic must assess, or every topic has one competency, one. What can a learner do out of that topic? It has one competence. Like for example, in senior 2, I facilitated these learners in a certain topic. The theme is business management, but the topic is like legal forms of business ownership, okay? Or the topic is about like business ownership, okay? But the competency is the learners select and okay, select the appropriate one, the appropriate form of business ownership, okay? It's a single competence. Now the topic has different learning outcomes, okay, as they are allocated in the syllabus book. Are we together? So those learning outcomes are the ones which you follow when you are delivering, when you are facilitating these learners. At the end of the lesson, the learners should be able to understand those learning outcomes, okay? But for me, when I go to class, I like greet learners. After greeting learners, I give, okay, I can narrate a story, okay, or I can give a problem, okay, or I can give a scenario, anything, okay, to stimulate, okay, or like you bring like a brain teaser to like to foster critical thinking, okay, so that learners can contribute, okay, before you like telling them to go and make their own notes. That's me. So when I reach class, I tell learners like I give like that topic, like it was under the theme of business management, and the topic it's under legal forms of business ownership. Then I told the learners, Mr. Farouk is a Ugandan citizen, aged 23 years. He stays in a Masanafu. He stays in a Kampala suburb, Masanafu village, Chinonya zone, Lubya parish, Rubaga Division, Kampala, Uganda, East Africa within Africa. Mr. Farouk wakes up every morning at around 5:30 a.m. He prepares himself and goes to the abattoir to buy meat for sale at his butcher in Masanaf Trading Center. He goes every morning, he buys meat in large quantities and brings the meat to his butcher. He sells this meat to the market. He sells this meat to the customers within Masanaf Trading Center. That's my scenario, okay? Like making engaging these learners so that they can follow, okay? I give out that meat on cash and credit basis, I together. At the end of the day, I balance or I count my money, and I see that I have made less compared to the money I used for purchasing the meat, okay? Then I ask the learners, which type, okay, because I had already given them the different types. Then I asked them, which type of business ownership is Mr. Farouk carrying out? The learners were able to say that it is a sole proprietorship business. Then I asked why. They told me it's because Mr. Farouk is the one who buys the meat, he's the one who cuts the meat, he's the one who sells the meat. Okay, after doing critical thinking, but just a teacher, you have to guide them. But now, as you give that scenario, these learners, we're going to leave them to discuss in their groups, okay? In their groups. As they discuss, you give them like 10 minutes. You give them like 7 to 10 minutes as they discuss. Then after, you come back, you write their views, okay? Then on the views you supplement and you aid them. You can refer them to the internet for making more research work about the notes. You refer them to the textbooks, right, together. And schools have like the learners and the teachers guides, but that's how for me I conduct the lesson delivery. If I do that, I'm involving these learners in what we call the triangulation: the observation, the conversation, and then the product. That's how I deliver my lesson. And then I have to monitor, are these learners making correct notes? Don't just say that you learners go and make notes. You have to monitor them. Are they making really correct notes? Are you together? So that's how I monitor that. So any other one to highlight on lesson delivery as we continue?